Welcome back to Skytech-Lens. While headlines focus on Ukraine and Taiwan, Russia is quietly establishing a new front line in the Arctic. Once a region of icy desolation, it's now a geopolitical hotspot driven by ambition and resources. Russia is not just planting flags, it's building influence, leveraging decades of investment. Moscow is militarizing its northern coastline, reopening Soviet-era bases, and deploying advanced weaponry. It's positioning itself as the gatekeeper of the Northern Sea route, a shortcut between Europe and Asia. This isn't just regional dominance, it's about creating leverage felt globally. We'll explore how Russia is turning ice into influence and why the West has been slow to react. The stakes are immense: vast reserves of oil and gas, control over trade routes, and military power balance. What happens in the Arctic won't stay there, its consequences will ripple worldwide. It's a story you need to understand. Russia's Arctic strategy is a long game rooted in Soviet-era visions. While the world saw a frozen wasteland, Moscow saw a strategic backyard. They invested in science, infrastructure, and unmatched icebreakers projecting power. Recently, Russia's Arctic build-out has accelerated, reactivating Soviet-era bases. The Nagarskoye Air Base now handles all types of military aircraft, extending Russia's reach. Advanced S-400 systems and radar installations create a dome of denial over the Arctic. Militarized ports like Murmansk support both commercial and naval operations. Russia's northern fleet with nuclear submarines and warships ensures year-round capability. Controlling infrastructure makes Russia indispensable for Arctic operations. The Arctic holds significant oil and gas reserves within Russia's economic zone. Icebreakers guarantee access, ensuring the Northern Sea route's reliability. This fleet is the key to unlocking the Arctic, cementing Russia's dominance. Satellite images reveal a carefully constructed ecosystem of power. It's a strategy to transform a frozen frontier into a bastion of influence. Russia writes the rules and the world must adapt. This isn't just military assets, it's a fusion of military might and economic ambition. Russia's Arctic strategy is a long-term vision now bearing fruit. The West must understand this shift to respond effectively. The Arctic is a new arena of strategic competition. Imagine a maritime highway cutting travel time between Europe and Asia by 40%. The Northern Sea Route, NSR, bypasses the Suez Canal, saving shipping costs. As polar ice melts, this waterway becomes a viable commercial artery. Russia controls the NSR, establishing a legal framework for absolute control. Foreign vessels must request permission, pay fees, and often use Russian icebreakers. This regulatory grip generates revenue, provides intelligence, and serves as a geopolitical lever. Cargo traffic on the NSR has surged, driven by Russia's Arctic resource projects. The NSR is both an economic engine and a symbol of Arctic sovereignty. Russia's control is a soft power play backed by hard power. The same infrastructure managing traffic can restrict it, creating economic chaos. The NSR is a strategic choke point, and Russia holds the key. More traffic attracts investment, solidifying Russia's control. The NSR is a strategic asset where commerce and control intersect. Russia's economic ambitions intertwine with geopolitical goals. The melting ice opens a new path for trade, leading through Russia's domain. The NSR is a carefully cultivated instrument of national power. Russia's dominance in the Arctic is a strategic reality. The West must recognize the NSR's significance in global trade. The Arctic is a new frontier of strategic competition. Russia's Arctic empire isn't built in isolation. China is a key partner. Despite no Arctic coastline, China declared itself a near-Arctic state in 2018. The Polar Silk Road is China's Arctic extension of the Belt and Road Initiative. It secures access to the Northern Sea route for faster, secure shipping to Europe. Russia has territory and military control. China has capital and demand for resources. Chinese investment in Russia's Arctic energy projects provides needed capital. This partnership underwrites Russia's Arctic ambitions and insulates its economy. Politically, it forms a strategic axis against the US and NATO. China gains a foothold in a region of immense strategic importance. The Arctic axis solidifies a partnership between two geopolitical rivals. Joint naval exercises signal a coordinated challenge to US presence. Russia provides security, China provides economic investment. Together, they create a self-sufficient ecosystem resilient to outside pressure. The Polar Silk Road is a strategic alignment, not just a commercial transaction. It's a partnership expanding China's global reach and fueling Russia's ambitions. The Arctic is a new arena of strategic competition. The West must recognize the Arctic axis's implications for global alliances. Russia and China's partnership challenges the post-Cold War order. The Arctic is a critical domain of 21st century geopolitics. While Russia and China execute a coordinated Arctic strategy, NATO's response is slow. The alliance viewed the high north as a low-tension area, misreading Moscow's intentions. NATO's lack of a unified vision creates a strategic gap Russia exploits. Arctic nations' priorities diverge, resulting in a patchwork response. Individual nations take steps, but efforts are uncoordinated. Russia achieves escalation dominance in the Arctic, controlling the situation in a crisis. The U.S. Coast Guard's icebreaker gap is a critical capability deficit. Without reliable access to ice-covered waters, power projection is impossible. Cold weather military expertise has atrophied since the Cold War. Rebuilding expertise requires time, investment, and cultural shift. Finland and Sweden's NATO accession is a positive step. Their Arctic-focused militaries are invaluable assets. Integrating new members into a cohesive strategy is just beginning. Russia has set the board, defining the rules of the Arctic game. NATO must close capability gaps and forge a unified strategy. The Arctic is a critical arena of strategic competition. The West must act decisively to counter Russia's Arctic dominance. The ice is melting and the window of opportunity is closing. The Arctic is a new frontier of strategic competition. Russia's Arctic dominance extends beyond visible military hardware. The Arctic is a chessboard of resources, routes, and influence. The Arctic holds significant oil, gas, and rare earth mineral reserves. Russia's militarization protects its future national wealth. The Northern Sea Route and subsea data cables are crucial for global connectivity. Russia's naval capabilities threaten vital subsea cables, leveraging digital economy control. The Shadow Fleet transports Russian oil, evading Western sanctions. Russia's logistics dominance forces nations to play by its rules. Scientific control allows Russia to manage Arctic research and data flow. Russia's system of control blends military, legal, logistical, and scientific power. The Arctic situation challenges the West's response. Russia's shadow hand moves pieces on multiple boards. Quiet, creeping sovereignty establishes de facto control. Russia's Arctic power is invisible, pervasive, and strategic. The West must counter Russia's deeply entrenched system of control. The Arctic is a new frontier of strategic competition. The West must recognize the Arctic's significance in global power dynamics. Russia's Arctic strategy is a long-term vision now bearing fruit. The Arctic is a critical domain of 21st century geopolitics. The Arctic's geopolitical shift reveals a stark difference in vision. Russia's strategy blends military force, legal authority, and logistical indispensability. The West's hesitation creates a strategic gap Russia exploits. NATO and the US are in a reactive posture, closing a widening gap. Russia's Arctic fortress provides economic resilience against sanctions. The Northern Sea Route gives Moscow geopolitical influence. The partnership with China forges a strategic axis in a vital arena. The Arctic is a laboratory for a new world order. Russia positions itself as the gatekeeper to this new world. The West must develop a long-term, coherent strategy. The Arctic is a critical arena of 21st century geopolitics. The ice has shifted and global security foundations are changing. The Arctic is a zone of competition, not exceptionalism. Russia has a powerful head start in the Arctic. The West must recognize the Arctic's significance in global power dynamics. The Arctic is a new frontier of strategic competition. The West must act decisively to counter Russia's Arctic dominance. The Arctic is a critical domain of 21st century geopolitics. The world is coming to grips with the consequences of Russia's lead. We've journeyed to a frontier transforming into a global power chessboard. Russia's strategy turns melting ice into military and economic influence. The West is playing catch-up in a harsh environment. Control over the Arctic means influence over energy resources and shipping routes. The Russian-Chinese axis challenges the post-Cold War order. The quiet buildup in the north is a reminder of shifting geopolitical power. The Arctic's future hangs in the balance between dominance and response. Decisions by global leaders will determine the Arctic's fate. The Arctic is a new frontier of strategic competition. The world must recognize the Arctic's significance in global power dynamics. Thanks for watching, and subscribe the channel for more updates.